Pacific, who is older than wisdom, who is shrinking like the slow death of thought, who is caught in a storm behind our ribs, who finds her rhythm in the delirious heartbeat of night. It's dark. Where were we when the lights went out? Who poured the last round? It's dark. It gets dark in here fast. To the Pacific, who throbs in our improbable bodies, who breathes us in and out, who sings between Earth and Orion, who makes us feel taller than trees, who suffers the weight of our pain, who's been trained to submit to our whims, whom we'd bring to her knees if she had them, who's been trapped in a terminal brothel, whom we've cast in an X-rated movie and we're waiting to watch her bleed. It's dark. By the nature of our deeds, we're dirty. We're bound in our own senseless chains. It's dark. How long can this last? It's sad. Is it criminal or criminally insane? It's dark in here. It gets dark in here fast. To the Pacific, who surprised us with the curious invention of life, whose inventions were purely honorable, who stirred our first shimmering cells, who helped us crawl up on her shores, whose blood still roars in our ears, whom we caged like a laboratory rabbit blinded with stinging rain. We're boys pulling wings from sparrows, obviously nonchalant. We spin her like sailors on benders, ignoring her desperate eyes. She's kidnapped for the intangible joyride. She's dropped in the vestigial ditch. How quickly we tire of our toys. It gets dark. It gets dark in here fast. We are pushing her past her prime. We shout petrochemical lies. Time sticks in our indecent throats. It gets dark. It gets dark. It gets dark in here fast. And where were we when the lights went out? Where were we? To the Pacific. To her we belong. She holds no wrong-headed notion of justice. She builds no concrete tomb for our lungs. She forces us to feed on no poison. She hangs us from no twisted tree. She rids us of no personal medfly. She plants no bomb in our gut. She crushes no skull for freedom. She nails us not to the ground. She studies us not into extinction. Her changes are slower than rivers. History melts in her mouth. She'd deliver us from evil if we'd let her. How long have we been lost? And where were we when the lights went out? It's dark. It's dark. It gets dark in here fast. To the Pacific. You are bluer than our magnificent eyes, insignificant eyes. You are saltier than the tears we cried when we heard you might die of our neglect. We're killing you with exquisite indifference. You've washed our feet with your grief. We've gathered on the courthouse steps. We're bargaining one more plea. We're praying they'll spare you from us. Our blood is screaming your name. We're tearing up the deed to your being. We'll love you more deeply than death. We've prepared to pay the better price. We'll rip the tainted needles from our veins. Our blood is screaming, screaming your name. We are about to become more serious. Where were we when the lights went out? To the Pacific. Older than unbearable wisdom, shrinking like the pointless death of thought, caught in the firestorm of our heads, tattooing the sacred skin of night, pounding in our hopeful bodies, breathing us in and out, shouting, Hosanna, under Orion. Drench us with unquenchable life. Your waves are breaking deep inside. Your blood is roaring in our ears. You are dreaming us awake. Make us feel taller than trees. Dance in our pagan arms. Your drums are beating on our shores. We're comprehending what you'd have us do. We're sounding louder alarms. We long to be truer believers. We'll be strong in our will to prevail. And we belong to your, it's to you that we belong. You've made your mark on our souls, but it's dark in here. Don't let the lights go out. We're about to become more serious. Don't let the light disappear. Don't ever let the light disappear. For Linda, I hope to God, wherever she is, she's experiencing all the love and beauty she brought to us.